Here it is. If you've taken any of my courses before, think about it. I always divide email users into one of two groups based on how you predominantly manage your email. You're either a filer or you're a piler, right? Well, Microsoft has done tons of research on this, and the conclusion is there's really no productivity advantage of one over the other. But what I have discovered is over time, there are some universal concerns regardless of how you currently manage your email. So for example, one of the situations I run into is I'm going through my email, I've got a limited amount of time to triage this whole pile of email that I've got, and I come across an email that I can't manage right now. Well, what do you do right now to get back to that email and remind yourself that you need to do it? Well, in the past, there's a number of ideas I've had about this, like, for example, I could mark it as unread, or I could move it into another folder and come back to it later. But if you're a filer, that's a problem because you've already got your email being moved into folders with rules and things of that nature. Well, one of the tools that are really helpful, regardless of how you manage your email, is using the flagged for follow-up mark. Well, one of the advantages of Office 365 is this subscription model. And so when it's a subscription model, new features come out, you get those right away. One of the more recent features is a feature on our computer called Search Folders. Let me show you where it is. So if you come over here and you click in the navigation pane right down here, do you see where it says Search Folders? What I want you to do is I want you to right-click on Search Folders and select New Search Folder. With this pop-up, you can see there's a ton of things we can do with search folders. I'm looking for the search folder right here called Mail Flagged for Follow-up. When I select that, it creates a search folder right here for me in my search folders called For Follow-up. Well, watch what happens when I go into my inbox and I start flagging email for follow-up. Now I'm just going to click on the flag here. This particular email, I'm going to flag it, but I'm going to mark it as due tomorrow. And then this email down here, I'm going to flag it, and another email, I'm going to mark it as due next week. So there we go. I've marked a couple of 4 or 5 emails in my inbox. Well, if you're triaging a couple hundred email every day, how do you get back to those quickly? Well, I can do a search, I can do a sort, that sort of thing. But now in the search folder, do you see right here? It's already telling me I've got 4 unread email in my search folder. When I click on that, it surfaces them in one location. Now this is great. Even if you're a filer and you use rules to move email into folders, it's not moving that email. All it's doing is surfacing the search results, saving the search algorithm. So right here, it's later in the afternoon, I've got 20 minutes. I can manage this email right now. So once I manage this email, I clear the flag. It takes it out of my search folder results, and it's still in its original place. Now, this is a feature I know I'm going to use a lot, and so I'm going to take this folder and watch this. I'm going to drag it right up here to the top and put it right in my favorite section. So even if you're a filer and you've got tons of email, you've got tons of folders in your entire folder structure, you can find this email very quickly, or this particular search result folder very quickly. It's right at the very top now. So it's not out of sight, out of mind. Okay, so when you think about how much time you spend bouncing between your inbox and your calendar, and now you can sort to those things that are important to you very quickly by using search folders, I want you to think about how much time you've just saved yourself. Okay, so let's jump into another topic right here in our inbox. I'm going to go over and click on Inbox, and I want you to think about on your desktop when you're looking at your email, in the lower left-hand corner, you see the icons for your mail, your calendar, your people, your tasks. These are called peaks. Now, when you hover over those, for example, I'm hovering over the task, I can see all my upcoming tasks. Or if I hover over the calendar, I can see my calendar and my upcoming appointments. Well, one of the less commonly known functionalities that you have here is you can expedite how you manage some of your emails. So for example, I've got an email and I want to turn them into a contact. Simply take that email and drag and drop it onto the people icon and watch what happens. It automatically creates your people contact for you right there very quickly. Notice in the notes section, it automatically has the email that you just dragged and dropped on there, and it pre-populates some of your contact card for you. Well, there's 2 things I want you to think about with this. This is helpful for a couple of reasons. One is I like having the notes section here for context as to how I know that person. Have you ever looked at a contact and goes, how do I know this person 6 months later, right? Well, also, how many of you use a signature as part of your contact, your emails? Well, if it hasn't populated the whole thing, I can simply scroll to the signature, copy and paste the rest of the signature into the contact card, hit save and close, and now this person is in my contacts. Okay, let's look at another application though. How often do you get an email that's an actionable item that you have to follow up on? Think about this. Let's take it more than just flagging it for follow-up. I'm going to take this email from Ty Carlson regarding this litigation meeting, and I'm going to drag and drop it onto the task icon. Watch what happens. It automatically creates my task for me, right? Well, let's go ahead and put a start date on this as next Wednesday. But you know what? There's an escrow involved with this litigation meeting, and this task is going to be due 57 days from next Wednesday. Well, in the past, how would you calculate out 57 days from next Wednesday? If you're like me, I'd go to my calendar and I'd start counting, right? 57 days later and hope I got it right. Well, watch what I do now. By the way, this was an emotional moment for me. I'm going to type in here 57 days from next Thursday. Yes, you saw that right. Watch what happens when I hit enter. It automatically calculates it for me. This is called a natural language date calculator, and it works on any Outlook date field. We have it right there. Okay, so this is a high priority task. It's about 25% complete. It's in progress. And then we have the email here in the notes section. But you know what? I'm going to go ahead and save and close this task. But how do I get to my tasks easily? Well, I can look at them right here in my task list, and I can see all my tasks that I've flagged for follow-up or the ones that I've turned into actual tasks. If I go back to my calendar though, how do I see the tasks that I've been assigning myself or that other people have assigned to me to work? One of the great tips I love is coming up here to your View tab at the very top. See where I am on the ribbon? When you click on the word View, I want you to look right here for Daily Task List. I'm going to open that up and click on Normal. Look what it does. It puts all those tasks right here in the week that they're assigned. And so if I come back here to my Home tab, I can go through here and look at my various work weeks as I've got them, scroll up and down, and I can see the tasks all listed there with it as it goes. Well, let's look at next week. Do I have any tasks next week as well? There they are. I've got more tasks next week. Well, this Quintoso 4th Annual Hiking Trip, I don't want to wait until the last minute to manage this task. So I'm going to grab it here from my task view and simply drag it up here onto Wednesday to a time slot that I have open, because that's when I want to manage that task. You guys, thanks again for joining us for this week's PH Lab. We hope you've picked up a couple of new ways you can save time working with your inbox. Make sure to join us next week as we talk about Microsoft Teams and why it's the perfect solution for making you and your team happier through better conversations and more impactful meetings. See you next time.